Movements in the value of the Naira in focus as analysts examines the effects on prices of commodities. Day of reckoning comes for illegal miners as Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps parade suspects. Plus, update from the world of sports. These and more on Panorama today. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ruth Aguilera. Stakeholders have continued to express confidence in President Bola Tinubu's vision that is already transforming the country's prosperity through his renewed hope agenda. This was attributed at a dinner in Kaduna organized by the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Kaduna State Chapter, to honor the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris. Let's hear from Salihu Gwanara.
It was a merry-making event that metamorphosed into a speech-making one, where friends, associates, and fellows extol the roles of their colleague, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, during his days as the 5th chairman of NIPR in Kaduna and his membership for more than 30 years.
I bring you greetings from your very good friend, Senator Obosai, and I want to congratulate the Institute here for having a very fine gentleman.
One issue that I would like to say about the Honorable Minister is his capacity to mentor people. And I am an example of that.
By inclination, and by training, and by breeding, he's a peacemaker.
Mohammed Idris was one of the strongest pillars that backed me to attain the little success that we are being applauded for.
At a time like this, there is nothing better than telling Nigerians the truth. And that has been the cardinal principle of the Minister of Information and National Orientation.
These efforts the image maker promised to sustain and explore with a commitment to upholding transparency in public communication to build trust.
The president didn't send me as minister to come and lie to Nigerians. What he has said is that I should come and explain to Nigerians, tell Nigerians what government is doing, and also take feedback from Nigerians to government so that government will be better informed. And you can see what we have done. We started this town hall meeting. We were in Kano, we met with the business community on live television. We were in Jigawa, we went to our local government on the farm and had a town hall with the farmers. The president will return greener pastures to all the nooks and crannies of this country so that everybody will find his feet and then will find prosperity.
The renewed hope agenda, he assured, means well.
If you are looking for one reason why fuel subsidy had to go, my one answer is that we are consuming nearly 2 billion liters of this thing, the PMS called petrol, 2 billion liters. Now, when fuel subsidy was removed, it came down by about 50%.
As a fellow of NIPR, he promised to remain a worthy ambassador of the Institute. In Kaduna, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
In other news, a cross-section of Nigerians wants the relevant authorities to adequately protect consumer rights. Well, they urge business community in Nigeria to bring their conscience to bear in the conduct of the transactions in view of the rising value of the Naira. Kensley Amajiri reports.
The rise in the cost of transportation, increase in house rent, and continuous high cost of food items have had negative impact on many households, resulting in severe measures being put in place by the federal government to ameliorate the plight of the populace.
I'm happy with the rise in the value of the currency Naira, but what I'm also concerned about is the effect on the common man in terms of the cost of goods and services.
At some point, the traders and service providers blamed the situation to the fall in Naira value against the US dollars. Now that the Naira is regaining its value, prices of goods and services have remained unchanged, and this, a cross-section of residents of Port Harcourt say, requires the intervention of the Price Regulatory Agency.
Definitely there must be a price control board. If there is no price control board, whatever goes up will never come down.
They are supposed to be a standing regulatory body. And when it comes to times like this, that's the time they should work. Whoever is in place, we should now push them to go around, check the market, look at the prices of things.
There are a lot of things they could do. They can equally advertise the price of a particular good. See, this today, rice, a bag of rice is 40,000. If you don't sell it, in fact, command people to come and buy. And before you know it, their price will come down.
The Petroleum Product Pricing Regulatory Agency is saddled with the duties of monitoring, regulating, and pricing of petroleum products in Nigeria, while the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission is envisioned to protect and promote the interests of consumers at a competitive price. Analysts are of the opinion that these agencies need to do more towards protecting the populace from arbitrary price hike. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Indeed, consumer right is sacrosanct. And to speak more on the crash of dollar rate and the effect it has on, prices of commodity, we have joining us via Zoom, Mr. Johnson Chukwu, financial analyst. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Chukwu.
Thank you for having me. Good day.
Good day to you. Now, on the exchange of the dollar to naira, we're seeing it drop from 180 to almost 120, but the prices of goods are not changing. What would you say is responsible for this?
Okay, once again, thank you for having me. The best thing that has happened is that we've seen dollar at some point, it actually got as 1,900. And we're now talking of dollar rate about 1,100. And we have not seen that adjustment in prices because the way traders work is that many of them had actually bought stocks. They're holding their current stock at exchange rates of maybe 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, maybe 1,800. So for them to sell at the current lower exchange rate means that they will have to lock in losses. And they will not want to lock in losses until imports that we are placed or imported at the current exchange rate begin to compete with them. And let me explain it further. The person who placed order for, let's assume, a television set at an exchange rate of 1,900 naira, 1,800 naira, and maybe that unit of television was costing $1,000. So at 1,900, the person bought it for 1.8 million naira. So it landed to him at 1.8 million naira. Today, dollar is 1,100. So if you have to import that television, you have to import it at 1.1 million instead of 1.8 million or 1.9 million. So, but the person who imported at 1.9 million will not want to bring down his price to 1.1 million naira until some other person imports at 1.1 million naira and is selling at 1.1 million naira. So that person will now know he has no choice. So at the meantime, he will want to hold back, hoping that to minimize his loss, and wouldn't want to drop price. But when new imports, when stocks are replenished at lower arrival cost or landing cost, then those who are holding old stock we have no choice than to sell at the new arrival cost or the new landing cost. So that's what is happening. So you want to call it lag effect. It takes some time for policy changes of this nature to reflect in prices at the shop floor.
Sure, from what you're saying, old stock must be cleared, before the new price can be reflected. But we're seeing MBS say that food... Okay,
let me
go ahead.
Not that food prices must be cleared. What I'm saying is that new products must be imported at new exchange rates. So it is when those new products arrive that those who are holding old stock will now want to sell because they can no longer hold on hoping that prices they can sell at the old prices, the old cost they arrived at.
Mr. Chukwu, who would determine that? We're seeing MBS say that food inflation rate jumps to 35.41%. What do you think, regulatory authorities need to do to ensure that these prices are controlled? Because I wouldn't know if that is the old stock, what you bought from what you're breaking down for us, that's the price. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I get what you're saying. Unfortunately, the reality is that the Consumer Protection Agency has minimal role to play in this. It's a market force that will determine that. If they want to enforce it, they really can't enforce it because what the people will do is to lock up their shops. And if they do that with the great artificial scarcity that will delay further the time it will take for those prices to adjust downwards. If you look at the issue of food price index, the major problem we have is, one, we're not producing enough food because of insecurity in the major food base of the country. Because if you look at the food basket of the country, most of the items that are contained there are food items that are produced locally. You're talking about grains, cereals. The only major thing that is imported is wheat. Other tubers are produced locally. But because we have insecurity, that's why we're dealing with high rate of food inflation. But other food items that are imported, their prices will begin to adjust when new orders are placed, and those new orders arrive. It will take maybe 60 days, maybe 40 days, or maybe 45 to 60 days for new imports to come, clear at the seaports, and get to the warehouses or the shop floors. Once new imports begin to arrive at the shop floors, prices will moderate downwards and reflect the current exchange rate.
Mr. Chukwu, if I get you clearly, you're saying we should give it time before these adjustments can be done. But usually we see that when the dollar rate increases, it started from 1,000 before we saw it just, went up and the naira plunged. They don't usually wait, for the import to happen before they adjust prices. They just go, with the adjustments.
The truth is that business people are not, their primary objective is not nationalistic, or they are not social service providers. They are looking for profit optimization and maximization. Well, this is basically what will happen, is that when exchange rate was depreciating on a daily basis, traders were repricing their goods based on the replacement cost. Because the logic of what they were doing is this. I'm not advocating for them, but the logic of what they're doing, which my job is to explain what they were doing, is that they come today and look, they realize that exchange rate has moved from 1,400 to 1,500. They say, if I sell at 1,400, which is what I bought at, I can't buy back the same quantity of goods. I can't import the same quantity of goods. So what they will do, they reprice based on what price they will replace the stock. And that's why we saw prices changing almost on daily basis or hourly basis at the point when naira was very unstable. But now the reverse is the case. They are now trying to avoid losses, and they are holding back selling at the new exchange rate because they are looking at what was their landing cost at which they import. But when the reverse was the case, their logic was, I had to sell at the price that I can replace the same stock of goods based on the new exchange rate. And that's why they were repricing. But like I said, unfortunately, businesses are not driven by nationalistic or public, it's not, I would say public interest, goodwill or social interest. Yeah, the social interest is the right word to use. They're not driven by social interest, they're driven by profit maximization, which is why every country must make sure you don't have an oligopolistic market or a monopolistic market where one person determines prices. Once you have a free market like we have today, in the short term, prices will adjust to reflect the landing cost of goods that are produced or imported into the country.
Indeed, Mr. Chukwu, let's just hope those in authority do the needful, because the consumer right is sacrosanct, like I said earlier. Let's take a break. We're back shortly. Stay tuned. Good to have you there. The Cross River State government has swiftly responded with relief materials to the plight of the Benegete people who are now internally displaced persons at the Obudu Ranch Resort. Paul Abel reports that the current condition of the people is as a result of alleged invasion of Cameroon Ambazonians.
Gete, a boundary community with the Cameroon, is in Obanliku local government area, northern part of Cross River State, and due to the terrain, it is difficult to access through motorable roads. This perhaps contributed to the ease with the invasion of the community, an abduction of more than 30 persons, resulting in the death of a chief. But the people are grateful to the state government for coming to their rescue.
So we are very happy with the effort of the federal government so far. We are happy with the state government and the Commissioner of Humanitarian Affairs for their efforts so far remembering us. Because like we presently, a belated man is not in the government, neither state or local government or federal. We are not.
The state governor, Senator Bassiotu, represented by the Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, stressed that the people's welfare and security will continue to be their utmost priority.
His Excellency, the governor of Koshika State, is the people's first governor. He's very sensitive and is interested, is keenly interested in the well-being and the welfare of his people. And so we understand how important it is to have an access in every community. And I assure the people that I shall go back. The government is already working towards that. And by the grace of God, in collaboration with the federal government, the access road shall be taken care of for them in future, very soon.
It is hoped that collaboration between the state government and other relevant federal government agencies will assist the people to return to their ancestral homes soon. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Imo State Command, has assured of its total commitment towards clamping down on all forms of economic sabotage in the state, in line with its mandate. The state NSCDC commandant gave the assurance while parading suspected oil bunkers and illegal miners in Owerri. Lorita Arinze Egwem reports.
The suspects arrested include 6 illegal miners, a driver of a truck containing about 5,000 liters of adulterated liquefied gasoline, as well as his Toyota Avalon counterpart, alleged to be carrying 800 liters of adulterated petroleum products. Parading the suspects, the Imo State Commandant, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Matthew Ovie, says the suspects were arrested at various locations in the state following surveillance by the anti-vandals, mines and steel unit of the command in conjunction with the special squad of the Corps Commandant General from Abuja. He also noted that the illegal miners who operate without licenses tamper with a lot of government installations in the process of excavating the soil.
We are encouraging illegal miners to go and obtain their licenses. Bunkers better stop, because we will stop at no end to arrest them.
These illegal miners, they crash the price of sand because they don't have any responsibility to government. They don't pay royalty, they don't pay taxes.
Some of the suspects confessed to the crime.
I'm not aware that it's an illegal mining.
The suspects are expected to be charged to court after investigation.
The Nigerian Army says it will investigate the alleged unprofessional conduct of some of its personnel that led to the death of a hotel manager in Umuahia, Abia State. In a statement, the Director, Army Public Relations Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, affirms that the Army has ordered a full-scale investigation into the incident to ascertain the facts and bring to book anyone found culpable. The Nigerian Army extends its heartfelt condolences to the families of the deceased manager, Mr. Achimugu James, and the Nigerian Air Force officer, Cadet Emmanuel Chidebere Onyemerichi, and assures the public that justice will be served. Did you know hello is the most important cure, not just for loneliness, but for 1 million of other health conditions? In the latest medical outreach in Anambra State, US-based charity outfit is not just saying hello, but also providing comprehensive health services to those in need. Chinyere Fesi Okoye reports that more than 2,000 people, including women and children, received free treatment for age-related and other common eye disorders during the 3 days exercise.
Amanda. This is Amanda. She was not born blind. Her aged grandmother says Amanda has been having challenge with her eyes since she was born 3 years ago.
I don't know what they do for eyes since she was born. They don't give her medicine, they drop for her eyes.
For many years, 82-year-old Roseline Nwafo and 74-year-old Elizabeth Ezigbo say they have been living through the eyes of others. Amanda, Roseline and Elizabeth are among hundreds of people gathered here with the hope of restoring their sights. Many of them have been unable to afford the cost of diagnosis and treatment at the regular hospitals. At last, help has come to them through a US-based charity outfit. The group is not just saying hello, but also providing free comprehensive eye care support encapsulated in one word: team.
If you look at what is happening to you, see that it's more of the aged and middle-aged people that are here that have eye pathology, basically glaucoma, cataract, and refractive error.
The Commissioner for Women Affairs, Ife Obinabo, says it's part of corporate social responsibility.
One thing that is making me so happy is that she's a child of God that wants to put smiles on people's faces.
Beneficiaries are not just children. They include aged men and women and people living with various disabilities.
I didn't even know that something like this is here when I came at the first time. So I just asked and I was told it's free that I should come and do.
I retired 2013. After the retirement, we started.
I'm telling you, this medication I was given now is costing me 30-something thousand every month. And it's being given to me here now free.
For many of these beneficiaries, the 3-day medical outreach is just adequate to break barriers to accessing eye care and treatment. But specifically for Amanda, it could mean regaining her sight and the end of seeing through grandmother's eyes. In Awka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
Members of the pen-pushing profession are known all over the world for going any length at the risk of lengthening life to bring information to the masses. The constant pressure to meet deadlines and make headlines puts a heavy strain on their health and physical well-being. Well, in the spirit of solidarity, the Nigerian Union of Journalists Bayelsa State Council created a hangout time in what is christened the NUJ Long Table. Now, what makes the Long Table special? Who can partake of the feast? What are the table manners to observe? These and more will be answered in this report by our correspondent, Ebinimi Zatimiola.
Recognized as the fourth estate of the realm, the contributions of journalists to nation building are far-reaching and invaluable. They are always on the move to beat deadlines to make headlines at the risk of their physical well-being. As a way to ease the stress, the Nigerian Union of Journalists Bayelsa State created a hangout platform, christened the NUJ Long Table.
Between 2009 and 2015, I was chairman of the NUJ, Bayelsa State Council. And most of our members will always say we don't have money to celebrate. So we initiated this long table to celebrate our members.
The way we contribute the money is a tradition we picked from Nembe. In Nembe, they do that when somebody dies. But we say we should do it when people are alive. So people contribute money to celebrate someone, and we had it up to enjoy ourselves as journalists. After work.
We work very, very hard, don't forget. When we have opportunity to relax, we should not fail to do it. So that is why this spirit you see here is a spirit of unity, oneness, and togetherness.
The long table, I see it as a point where journalists can meet, can interact, share ideas, and of course, be able to do their job better.
Build relationship, build coalition, build friendship, and then celebrate with people when there's need to celebrate.
Interestingly, the NUJ Long Table is becoming a norm in other councils of the pen profession.
I've been able to export this tradition to about 7 other states in this country. Our biggest fans of this long table is Akwa Ibom State. They do it, and very strongly too.
For journalists, the NUJ Long Table will continue to serve as the rallying point for partisan journalists. Ebinimi Z. Timiola, NTA News.
All right, now you know what the long table entails. Just relax. That's Panorama. Thank you very much for your time. I'm Ruth Agowele. Bye.